Hello everyone! Today I am starting to build a Tamiya's GF-01 monster truck, a stunt vehicle at 1/12 scale. Ooh. Here we have a box. This is a four-wheel drive chassis. Okay, let's open the box. Let's put these aside and start with the build. As you can see, we start the build with the differential gears. We have a wrench. I have a lot of these, like something like 10. These are the differential gears. They are quite big and should be sturdy. The internal gears need to be greased. To limit the differential action, I will be using the anti-wear grease, which is very thick and will not allow for the gears to spin very freely. Now the differential gears are complete. The next step is to put the differential gears into the chassis. We have the two chassis halves. I am using ball bearings. I bought these from AliExpress quite cheaply, like 100 of them. I am putting grease on the gears. Next step includes attaching pinion gear to a motor. This piece is used as a heat insulation because the motor attaches to the plastic, not to the aluminum. We have hinge pins, out drives, axles, and cups. As you can see, all four arms are complete. The chassis is very small, and the suspension is like an on-road car, not an off-road car, especially a monster truck. Now we have to continue with the shock. As you can see, they are offering us to use the friction damper, which I'm not going to use. I will be using my new upgraded dampers. I have already built these dampers. They were very nice, very high quality. They are e-racing dampers from RC Mart. And these springs are very hard. They will be going for the bumper. Okay, so I have assembled the friction dampers to show you the comparison between the oil dampers. And here you can see how the friction damper works. It's very stiff and it has no dampening. It's very fast. Now the oil damper works very smoothly and it's dampened. Aftermarket oil shocks. You can see the suspension works very nice. Okay, now let's center the servo. Now, according to the manual, we have to put the servo horn at 45 degrees. Now the servo saver spring, the horn itself. Since the servo is metal gear, we put some thread lock. And let's check the movement. Next we are assembling the steering horn. This car has a very interesting servo configuration. It sits on the side at 45-degree angle. have to make the linkage. There are 3 turnbuckles. Okay, let's do this. And it's a little bit too long. Now great. Let's make the others. Now the turnbuckles are complete. We will be putting the linkage to the chassis. And we put a little shaft in the middle here. Now we attach the ball ends to the steering knuckles. Here we have it. Let's see the next step. Yes, which is attaching the servo. The servo attaches from the side. As you can see, it attaches like that. Now we put all the linkage together. Let's snap it. It's a very rigid steering. Here we have a battery retainer, and here we have sponge. Before putting any double-sided tapes, I like to use some alcohol to clean off the oils. The oils from my hands, the oils from the factory. This is the battery door, very nice. And it locks in place with 2 crocodile pins. I like to bend my pins at 45 degrees and put some zip tie ends on them so I can pull them easily. We have the next step, which is putting the electronic speed regulator and receiver and connecting the wires. Okay, so we have an Tamiya electronic speed controller which supports brushless, but I will be using it with the brushed motor. So I suppose we can attach the motor wires. We put the switch here. There should be enough space for the receiver. I have tidied up the wires. Now let's continue with the wheelie bar. It has a very large plastic wheel. Now we have to put the body mounts. The body mounts seem to be angled slightly forward. It means that the car of the body will have an aggressive stance. Let's continue to the next step. Which is wheels. I will be putting the wheels together and not gluing them, because since I had the experience with Tamiya, most of the time you don't need to glue the wheel because they attach very firmly and they have hard sidewalls. Here we go. Okay, now we have the wheels on. We will need to do some suspension adjustment as it sits a little bit too low. Maybe change the springs. We will see it. Now we are nearing to the end. We have the front bumper. Let's screw it until the thread ends. Now the body part. The body is very nice. It has pre-drilled holes for you. I would like to show you a quick way of cutting the body. It's very easy, very fast and very clean. You simply take a sharp blade and you score along the lines. Now take scissors and make the cut till you reach your score, and after you reach it you simply peel off the part. See? And let's continue. So I cut the body and also the interior plate with the driver attached. To change the Tamiya plug to the one I'm using, all of my cars and batteries use this Hextronic, and solder on my plug. Here we go. Now I will be binding the model to the transmitter. Let's put and let's try to calibrate the regulator. Okay, so I am going to paint the body. So I masked the main light, front lights and the tail lights. What I like to do is to decant the paint like that. Here we have some paint. And I put it in my airbrush. I have finished painting the white roof. This is my homemade spray booth, which takes away the fumes outside. Let's run over the maskings one more time. The next step will be to apply the decals. Okay, so I finished applying the decals. The final step is to conform the decals to the surface. I heat up the decals and push them down. The next step involves the LED lighting. I'm going to put the high power LEDs, the ones like this. I will be using the lenses for these LEDs. They fit here perfectly. I just need to glue them. For the rear lights, I will be painting them in clear colors, red and orange, and I will be using some PCB template to solder my LEDs to it. And I will attach it with a double-sided tape from underside. The rear ones are being painted with Tamiya clear paint. I will show you the lights installed in the body. At the front we have lenses for LEDs and the high-powered lights installed. Then there is a wire running backwards, and on the back we have two SMD strips with SMD LEDs, and there is our power input on the body mountings. Okay, so now I have finished the body and only the driver is remaining. It's already primed with the Tamiya surface primer for plastic models. I will be painting it white and making the little details. As for the car, you can see it's fully finished. I have also made the lights. Here you can see the front lights. I made a little switch behind, and the rear lights. I have a few models with LEDs, and what is really annoying that you have to connect wires every time you put the body on. So this time I experimented with a different approach, and you can see that I can remove the body without any wires attached. Here we have two contacts on the body mounts, simply naked wire, and I have contacts here near the body mounting holes. Let's turn it on, and you can see that when I put on the body, it lights up. I lift up the body, I put on the body. And when I attach it with the body clips, it presses down and ensures the contact. Now let's proceed with the driver painting. First of all, I will remove the head because I will be painting them in different colors. Now I will be painting the details with a hand brush.